The U.S. and China striking phase one of a potential deal to end their months-long trade war. Eunice joins us now with the latest reaction from Beijing. And also, Eunice, I don't know. Did you see these export numbers? I mean, they're staggering. So I
did.
Maybe there's not a deal, but both sides probably want a deal. Is this how both sides save face? They both deny that there's a deal and sort of work one out anyway to delay the tariffs. It's weird, isn't it?
Well, saving face would be good, but yeah, those the trade data, the export and the import numbers were both pretty bad. What I thought was interesting is, so the export figures were much lower than what people had expected, and the custom officials said that the trade with the U.S. was particularly hit hard by the trade war. But what I thought was interesting was the import figure as well was down quite a bit, and I think it shows then that China's not the only one suffering in this. It's also the U.S. So in terms of the trade deal, you guys were talking about some of those reports that had just emerged. Bloomberg was reporting that China wants further talks as soon as the end of October to hammer out the details of a phase one before that's supposed to happen around the APEC summit. China also, according to sources from Bloomberg, says that it wants Trump to also scrap a planned tariff hike in December. Now, that isn't particularly surprising because in the conversations that we've been having here, and one in particular with a former advisor to the Commerce Ministry, the feeling has been that China actually came out of those conversations very well, that there was a lot of progress made, that the U.S. decided to put on hold the tariff that was supposed to kick in tomorrow. And the deal is now going to be in phases, which the Chinese have wanted and also in the past have used almost as a delaying tactic. And that's been one of the criticisms of the Trump administration by the Trump administration for previous administrations. Another point that was made here quite a bit is that the discussions over Huawei, the embattled tech giant, are now going to be put on a separate track. And that is something that the Chinese also wanted to have so that they could discuss some of the national security issues separate from a trade deal. So what is China doing? They said they're going to be buying up to $50 billion worth of agricultural products from the U.S. But again, what's interesting in the past couple of days is that the state media has barely mentioned this pledge. There was one mention in a state media blog, which is quite influential when it comes to trade talks, that people watch it because they think it's somebody who travels with the vice premier. And that person posted a reminder that China uses these purchases as a bargaining chip, and that the purchases need to be complementary to the country's needs. So in other words, China won't necessarily just willy-nilly decide to buy as much as $50 billion worth of agricultural products. So everything up in the air. And you guys were talking a little about some of the caution in the state media. In fact, there was a reference to champagne, as you guys were talking about it. The champagne, according to the state paper, the China Daily, the champagne should probably be kept on ice at least until the two presidents put pen to paper.